Happy Halloween! You get a witch and beige Becky.
I'm a witch?
I thought that's what you were doing.
With a widow's peak?
Yeah.
No, that's more vampire than witch.
Oh, I didn't even think vampire.
I want to suck your blood.
Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Shayna, and in my little corner of the internet, we talk about spooky history of all kinds. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Today is Halloween, and my mom wanted to dress up.
You don't like it? She comes into the bathroom, and I look over, and she's like, what's that look for? And I said, you think you like it? She's like, oh my.
I didn't even notice it until she pointed it out. I wasn't even looking.
It's really sad.
I wasn't even looking. So I figured we'd do something fun for Halloween. And I didn't do any research or anything. We're just gonna read her some scary stories to get her reaction.
You must really like my reactions.
The people really like your reaction. So are you ready?
I'm ready. This will give something for the adults to binge watch and eat their kids' candy after they go to bed. Watch your videos, and then this will be the whipped topping. The cherry on top.
The whip topping. Well, I've got quite a few stories, so I don't know if I'm going to read them all. I might, because some of them aren't very long, but they are kind of creepy.
Great.
And this one really freaked me out, because you'll see it did freak me out, and so it might freak you out too. I don't know. But
should we save it for last?
No, it's not the scariest one, but it freaks me out because we have a doggy door.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, it's called Home Alone.
There's a movie about that. They use the doggy door.
Do they use the doggy door in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
You try to get in through the doggy door.
I wasn't thinking there was a doggy door because they don't have a dog. They don't have a dog. Why do they have a doggy door?
They don't have a dog. I don't know. Maybe it came with the house.
Okay. Best friend's parents were out of town one weekend, and she had the house to herself. Went about her business having dinner, watching TV, then decided to go to bed. She was laying in her bed with her back to her closet when she heard the door open, her closet door. She somehow pretended to be asleep. The man who was hiding in her closet walked around her bed to the side where she was laying facing, gently stroked her hair and face, then left. She immediately called her boyfriend to ask him to come over, then called her parents and then the police. Long story short, this man had been getting into their home via the doggy door. They didn't have a dog and didn't bother to secure it, and he'd been living in a tent in the foresty area behind their home for months to creep on her. They found a ton of surveillance footage of her sleeping and pieces of her clothing and stuff. So this guy was just obsessed with her, and he would sneak in and watch her and take her stuff and then leave. So he'd never really heard her. Isn't that creepy?
Obviously, she doesn't sleep with a gun.
She's a teenager.
No, and I think your doggy door is a little bit smaller than that. I don't think a grown adult can get in there.
John's been able to put his arm through and unlock the door from one side.
True.
Which freaked me out when he told me he could do that. It's like, wait, what'd you do? How'd you get in the house?
That's very creepy.
Now this one's not really scary, but kind of weird. It's called Do Not Try to Find Us. This isn't a scary story, but it's spooky and always captured my imagination. One day, a bunch of, I think they were police in training, explored some of the catacombs under Paris. A lot of them were completely unmapped. They entered an area and heard dogs barking and snarling. They continued going and saw there were speakers mounted on the wall, playing pre-recorded dog sounds and cameras. They continued. They came into a huge opening and found a cinema. It was lavishly decorated. It had projectors and a mix of old and new movies. It even had electricity running and 3 phone lines. The police marked where they were and went back outside. The next day, they returned to try and investigate further with more experienced officers, but everything was gone. All the wiring had been ripped out. All the furniture was gone. All that remained was a note that said, "Do not try to find us." As far as I know, they never figured out who was there.
Okay, so this is in
Paris.
Paris.
Catacombs.
Right. Dirt floor?
I guess.
No
It's just
tracks?
like a cave, I guess. I don't know.
No tracks?
Well, the tracks would only leave outside, and then where would they go after that? I mean, they could just go wherever and not be traced. I imagine it's like some rich people. They have some lavish party or something, and 'cause it's a
Sounds more
movie
like it's
theater.
kids. Yeah.
It's a big, lavish movie theater. Why would it be kids doing that? It sounds like some millionaires having fun or some secret society or something.
Yeah. Secret Society's right. But that, I mean, I'm so used to the portals and stuff like that when it comes to secret society.
Oh my word.
Versus your cinema and movies. Please, they're just parents trying to get away from their kids.
But it said old and
they
new
probably-
movies.
And they probably thought their kids found them.
Do not
And that
try
was a
to
note.
find us.
That was just a note to their kids. Don't try to find us. We
is
want
our
a
party
movie night,
place.
darn it. Leave us alone.
I really think some secret society with some millionaires. That's my opinion.
Just rich kids. Yeah, you got the older movies and the newer movies. It's definitely an older group.
Mm-hmm.
How old is that story?
I don't know. Most of these were found on Reddit. That one thing that I read to you with the Pharaoh people.
Right.
People go on there and they either tell like stories that happened to them or they make up stories and put it on there. So we never know if it's true or not.
Ooh, but you read it.
Okay, next. Back in 2005, I was in a band that toured the country in a 15-passenger van with a trailer. We were on the way from Columbus, Ohio to Erie, Pennsylvania. The show had been canceled in Ohio due to a power outage.
How eerie.
How funny. So we decided to get out on the road early as we had friends in Erie who were taking us in for the night. I'll never forget this moment for the rest of my life. We were all having a conversation. There were 8 of us total in the van when the driver and passenger both shouted simultaneously, "What the was that?"
Okay, wait, let's do it together.
What the was that?
I want to get the full effect. Go ahead.
I'm getting goosebumps on my arms right now just remembering the event. I was sitting behind the driver with my back against the window and I didn't see anything, but we heard a whooshing noise as if something flew right over the van. My friend who was sitting next to me looked like he had just seen a ghost. We wound up pulling over on the side of the road because everyone was freaking out, thinking we hit something. Nothing was found. Both the passenger and driver said they saw a tall black figure lunge at the van from the shoulder of the left lane. My friend who was sitting next to me said the same thing. The next day we inspected the van in daylight and noticed there were streak marks across the roof of the van.
Wouldn't you crap if something like that?
Crap! I don't know if anyone pooped their pants, but probably got close.
Sometimes you find streaks.
Oh my word. Streaks in your undies. That's so gross.
I'm sorry, I'm just putting 2 and 2 together.
Crap and then streaks on the roof of your van. Scared the monster more than the people.
It just makes sense. It's flying by, you scare the crap out of it, and you got a streak on your van.
Oh my word. That's so gross. I
What's
said,
that smell?
Are you done? She's apparently not done.
Sorry, I had to run with it.
That's so gross. The camera's trying to track you, but you keep moving like this. The square's just following her face.
Oh, what a turd.
Messing up my makeup. Okay, you ready? When I was 7, I suddenly awoke in the middle of the night to a young child kneeling near my bed praying. At first I thought it was my younger brother, so I asked him what he was doing. After I asked, he slowly looked at me and stood up and started running. So I hopped out of bed and followed him down my stairs and out my front door. We had a long driveway and I followed him all the way to the end, then he simply vanished. I went back to my room and nothing like that has happened since.
We scared him to death. He's like, oh man, you could see me. How did that happen? You know, I mean, sometimes whenever you're laying in bed, you feel like like you see something on the corner of your eye or something. You're almost in that trance state before you go to sleep. And then you might hear something, you feel like you're falling or something. Sometimes I believe when you're in that zone that you can maybe sense something or see something when you're getting ready to go to sleep or in a light sleep or something like that.
Yeah, but it didn't disappear until
It ran.
it got to the end of their driveway. She said it ran. She followed it down that long driveway, and then when it reached the end of the driveway, it disappeared.
I'm thinking hallway, not driveway.
No, ran outside.
Ran outside.
And she followed it thinking it was her brother. Like, what are you doing? You know, but it wasn't her brother.
Wow.
Okay, this one was called, I called the cops and locked myself in the bathroom. I was sitting in my room at like 11:30 p.m. Heard lots of stuff downstairs, assumed it was my mom. Heard her walking up the stairs to my room and then stop. I called out to her. She didn't say anything and then walked downstairs. I went down about half an hour later to find a piece of paper with the words, "You're lucky, I'm scared too." Then a whole bunch of stuff was missing from their house. She called her mom, still hadn't arrived home from dinner. She was with her friends. I called the cops and locked myself in the bathroom, but I think they left when they realized I was still home. Probably the most scared I've ever been when I was hiding in the bathroom. Isn't that creepy? I would have freaked out.
Yeah, there was that time, remember? You thought you heard someone on the roof?
Someone was on the roof.
Yeah, we live in a mobile home and basically have a tin roof.
Where was I? I think I was in the living room. Heard something smack the house and realized it was the ladder. And then they got on the roof and was walking on the roof.
Yeah, and you called me, and then I had you call the cops and be with dispatch and stuff, and I beat the cops there.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you realized the ladder was moved.
Yep, the ladder had been moved. The cop and I were out there, and we were looking all over, and he said that there are people that they will
case the place.
They'll case the place, but then they will enter in through the roof of those mobile homes, so they'll cut a hole through the top. And that way they can see if there's any security or anything like that when they enter stuff. So, yeah.
I went to the other side of the mobile home and locked myself in her bathroom. Because I wasn't going to be in the other bathroom.
A toilet paper holder.
Yeah.
Hit somebody with it.
I was ready.
And we just had a discussion the night before about how to protect yourself and everything.
I grabbed whatever I could, which I should have totally got a knife since I passed the kitchen. But I wasn't thinking that. I just ran to the bathroom and grabbed the nearest thing I could find. Yeah, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, but you didn't sit and cry either and act all, I'm helpless, you know. You actually tried to defend yourself.
Okay.
Mommy was proud.
You ready for the next one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's called Suddenly I Got Random Chills. I was sitting in our office room, home alone, when I was 19. I was typing a paper for one of my college classes. The office room used to be my sister's room before she moved out, so a lot of her decorations are still there. She had a photo of a mountain range, an oval-shaped mirror, and 3 different hangings that read Faith, Hope, and Love. This makes 5 total things hanging on the wall in this room. Suddenly, I got random chills, which happens all the time. It was pretty cold, but this time, as soon as I got the chills, everything in the room hanging on the walls fell off simultaneously. This really freaked me out, but it got a tiny bit worse. I got up and walked out of the room, only to notice everything hanging on a wall in my house had fell, besides the television in my room. All the pictures in the living room and other rooms, all the trophies in my room, the Little League sports, and even the stand that held candles. I wasn't sure what to do. I picked up all the stuff and hung it back up, which actually took me around 15 to 20 minutes. Then I drove to campus to finish my paper. Never told my parents. It's also worth mentioning this happened around noon on a sunny day 3 winters ago. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
Just everything fell. Got chills and then everything fell.
Oh no, because when you were talking about the chills and everything, I got chills. I could show you my goosebumps, but they're gone now. I've got a sweater on. Her air just kicked off.
She's always cold. Okay, now this one, I don't know if this one's true because it's just one of those things. But it is creepy.
Are any of them true?
It's called Hello.
Hello. It's on how you say it.
When I was young, telephones didn't have keys to press or even a dial to rotate. You'd pick up the phone and the operator would say, "Number, please."
How would you text?
Then you'd give her the number and she'd connect you. When I was very young, I didn't really know the purpose of a telephone. I just knew that you could pick it up and talk to someone. I'd pick up the phone, and when I heard, "Number, please," I'd just start chatting with the operator. Some didn't want to talk to a little kid, but one in particular seemed to enjoy it. I'd call her and we'd talk about what was going on in my life, and then we'd hang up. When I started grade school, my favorite operator would help me with homework. I'd ask her questions and she'd help me figure out the answers. She'd never just tell me directly, but with her help, I could always find the answer. As I got older, I realized that this was not what the operator was for, but it was such a habit I kept it up. When I started dating, I'd tell her all the boys and what we'd done the night before. One day, I called the operator up crying. My date the night before hadn't gone too well. The boy had been pushing, demanding things I didn't want to do. When I refused, he hit me and left me to walk home alone. My operator listened while comforting me and told me not to worry. Things have a way of working out. The next day, the boy was found dead outside his house. No one knew exactly what happened to him, myself included. Later, I met your grandfather. He was sweet at first, but as time went on, things got unpleasant. He'd go out drinking, and when he'd come home, he'd beat me. I hadn't spoken to my operator in years, but one day I remembered her and picked up my phone. By this point, phones had dials, so I dialed 0 to get the operator. I told her what was going on in my life. She said not to worry. Things have a way of working out. The next morning, your grandfather wasn't in bed with me. I went outside. I found him on the porch. Dead. He'd been dead for hours. I have no idea how she did it, but anyway, that's what happened to your grandfather.
Because things have a way of working out.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one, and it's the long one.
Okay. Ready.
Okay. It's called The Message on the Tape Recorder. My wife and I had just moved into our new house when I found the tape recorder. It was on the desk in the office. The house came completely furnished. At the time, it wasn't unusual. In fact, all of the houses in the neighborhood came furnished. Not with new furnishings either, more like they were sold as is. It was as if everyone just up and vanished. My wife was hesitant to move here because of that, but the house was a great deal, and I reassured her that it was simply just a ghost story.
Of course it was a great deal. Everyone just got up and got the heck out. They didn't want to be there. Have anything
The whole
else with
neighborhood.
it.
She was reluctant, but still, we made the move. I sat in the chair at the desk with the noontime sun shining behind me through the window and hit play on the tape recorder. A man's voice played back with the message. It all started with the owls. I had only ever heard them at night, so you can imagine my surprise when I saw one in broad daylight. It was sitting on the roof of my neighbor's porch at 8 a.m. right before I left for work. Pretty soon, daylight owl sightings were happening all over. It became the norm. Scientists attributed it to the change in diet, and that simply the prey that they hunted was more active during the daylight hours.
Humans.
That didn't explain the raccoons, though. I saw one rummaging through my garbage one morning a few weeks after the owl sighting. They had always gotten into my trash, but I always discovered the mess the morning after with no raccoon in sight. Now my garbage went untouched through the overnight hours. Shortly after the raccoons, I stopped hearing the coyotes at night. The news was plastered with speculation about these strange changes in behaviors of the creatures of the night. It was almost as though they were becoming afraid of the darkness. Was there an even scarier creature of the night? Soon the news broadcast stopped, and the TV read a signal message on every channel. It is imperative that you stay indoors from the moment the sun goes down till the moment the sun rises. Do not go outside during this time, no matter what you hear. It's currently nighttime as I sit here now telling you this. I'm not sure how much time I have left. They're out there right now. I heard the screams of my neighbors, and now I can hear the scratching on our door. I have no idea what they are, and I don't think I will be able to. The recording stopped. The message chilled me to the bone, but I could not tell my wife about this. I hid the tape underneath a stack of paperwork in the bottom drawer. Moments later, I heard my wife call me to check something out. I found her in the kitchen, looking out the back deck, staring at an owl on the railing. Noontime.
Lock your doggy door.
That's
Yeah.
it. Those are the stories I found.
They are creepy. I'm glad you found them, though. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they were creepy. Some of them were probably true, and the others were probably just fun stories.
So what was your favorite one?
My favorite? Or the one I found most creepy?
Both.
So the one I think I found most creepy was the one with the letter saying you're lucky, I'm scared too.
Yeah, that one's pretty realistic. Yeah.
But the one that I liked most was the operator one. I mean, it's probably the most demented, but I think
That was my favorite.
I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
All things have a
Go
way of
figure.
working out.
And then the most creepy one was the recorder one, the last one you read. Yeah, for me.
Send chills down your spine.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be watching her owls, making sure she doesn't see any owls during the day at home.
When our dogs start wanting to come in.
Let me in.
Guess they want that now.
Crazy
because it's
stuff
cold
is
out.
going on out here.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about just the neighborhood that happens, but yet then it was supposedly on the news. Mm-hmm. That's not just a neighborhood. That's the whole town. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
kind of eerie.
Mm-hmm. What can you do?
I don't know, but we just read it.
Oh, my word.
You didn't catch the eerie one, did you?
Well, is there anything you'd like to add for this Halloween episode?
No, just I hope everyone has a great, safe, happy Halloween and blessings to everyone. I know it's kind of strange to say on Halloween. So it's a creepy day.
Check your kids' candy,
Yes, check the candy. Only
especially
go to
the
people-
chocolate ones. Inspect those thoroughly. Maybe eat a few.
I'm inspecting.
That's what I gotta do.
These calories don't count.
Okay, you can't have this one, you can't have this one, or this one, or this one.
What we used to do, we go trick-or-treating, and then we get back and there were still kids out trick-or-treating. So we would hurry up and pick out all the candy that we didn't want, turn on our porch light, and when that candy was gone, we shut the light off and keep everything else.
Keep
She
all
did
the
the
yummy
sweet tarts and stuff, and I kept the chocolate. And one time, our little dog Scamper got into the Halloween candy, and she literally opened up the packages, like she put her foot on the little Snicker bar thing. She ripped open the back. It was like a human opening it up. And she ate all this candy, and she's just like laying there like she had a tummy ache, and I took her to the vet, and she's like, she'll be all right. She didn't eat enough, you know. She had like 4 or 5 candy bars, little bitty candy bars, and oh my goodness, I couldn't believe she got into it and only ate the chocolate that I was gonna eat. Rotten. She was rotten. But no, let us know what your favorite story was and what you found the creepiest. That'd be cool.
Let us know in the comments or my Instagram.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
And let us know how much you liked her vampire getup and my beige Becky, thanks to Jamie French merch. One of my favorite YouTubers. Well, that's going to be it for us today. If you enjoyed this little Mysteries with My Mom episode, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell.
Ding ding.
And we will see you all later. Bye.
Bye. Happy Halloweeny.
Okay, now you can clap.
Like
Happy with yourself now?
I am. Like I did my makeup today. Showing my widow's peak.
Looking like Wicked Witch of the West.
I'm the Momo monster.
The Momo monster.
I drive around my Momo monster mobile. Just lift up my eyebrows and colored in my peak. All for you.
All for me.